Hey guys, tonight I'm going to talk about mini story. It is the race. It's 5 o'clock. And Alan is riding his motorbike in San Francisco. He's riding down Van Ness Street and come to a stoplight. A rat fairy pulls up next to him. The driver wearing that sunglasses. He looks over at Alan. Alan looked at him. The other driver is Tom Cruise. Tom snares Alan. He says, when the light turns green, let's race.
Welcome to the mini story for the race. Let's get started. It was 5 o'clock and Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco. When was Alan riding his motorcycle?
5 o'clock.
Well, at 5 o'clock, right? At 5 o'clock, Alan was riding his motorcycle. Was Alan riding his car? Or was Alan riding his motorcycle? Of course, Alan was riding his motorcycle. Where was Alan riding his motorcycle?
San Francisco.
In San Francisco. Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco. When was he riding?
5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock, Alan was riding his motorcycle in San Francisco. He was riding down Van Ness Street and came to a stoplight. Who was riding down Van Ness Street?
Tom Cruise.
Alan. Alan was riding down Van Ness Street.
Alan.
What was he riding on? On a motorcycle. He was riding on his motorcycle. Was he riding down Market Street? No, not Market Street.
No.
He wasn't riding down Market Street. Was he riding down Lombard Street? No.
No.
He wasn't riding down Lombard Street. He was riding down Van Ness Street.
Tom Cruise.
When? When was he riding down Van Ness Street?
5 o'clock.
At 5 o'clock. At 5 o'clock, he was riding down Van Ness Street. Who was riding down Van Ness Street?
Alan.
At 5 o'clock.
Alan.
Alan was riding down Van Ness Street at 5 o'clock. Was he in a truck? No, he wasn't in a truck. He was on his motorcycle. And he came to a stoplight. Did Alan come to a go light? No.
No.
He didn't come to a go light. He came to a stoplight. We never say go light. We only say stoplight.
Tom Cruise.
Alan, of course. Alan came to a stoplight.
Alan.
What was he on when he came to a stoplight?
5 o'clock.
A motorcycle. He
A
was
motorcycle.
on a motorcycle when he came to a stoplight.
5 o'clock.
Where was the stoplight?
San Francisco.
Well, on Van Ness Street.
Havana
The
Cheese.
stoplight was on Van Ness Street. Was the stoplight on Embarcadero Street? Or was the stoplight on Van Ness Street? Van Ness, of course, Van Ness. The stoplight was on Van Ness Street. Who was at the stoplight?
Tom.
Alan was at the stoplight.
Alan.
Which city was Alan in? In San Francisco, of course. Alan was in San Francisco. Where is Van Ness?
Van Ness Cheese.
Well, Van Ness Street is in San Francisco. Of course, Van Ness Street is in San Francisco. Is Van Ness Street in New York? Or is Van Ness Street in San Francisco? Well, of course, Van Ness Street is in San Francisco. Where was Alan riding?
San Francisco.
He was riding on Van Ness Street in
Van Ness Street.
San Francisco. And he came to a stoplight. A red Ferrari pulled up next to him. Did the red Ferrari pull up behind him? No, 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 not behind him.
No, no,
The red
no.
Ferrari pulled up
Not behind.
next to him. What pulled up next to Alan?
Push up next to him.
A red Ferrari. A red Ferrari pulled up
A red
next to
Ferrari
Alan.
push up next to him.
Did Alan pull up next to a red Ferrari? No, no, no.
No,
Alan
no, no.
didn't pull up next to a red Ferrari. A red Ferrari
A red
pulled up
Ferrari
next to him.
next push up next
Where
to him.
did the red Ferrari pull up next to Alan? At a stoplight on
A
Van Ness
stoplight?
Street. At a stoplight on Van Ness Street,
A starlight
A red
of Van
Ferrari.
Ness
pulled up next
Closer.
to Alan.
Alan.
Was Alan in a red Ferrari?
Where Alan.
No, no, no. Alan
No, no,
wasn't
no.
in a red Ferrari. He was on a motorcycle. Alan was on a motorcycle. What did the red Ferrari do? Well, it pulled up next to Alan. The red Ferrari pulled up next to Alan. The driver was wearing dark sunglasses.
Sunglass.
So, Alan was wearing dark sunglasses.
Alan.
No, 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 not Alan. Alan
No, 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 no.
wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Who was wearing dark sunglasses?
Tom Cruise.
The driver of the Ferrari. The driver of the Ferrari was wearing dark sunglasses, not Alan. The driver looked over at Alan.
The
No,
driver
no. He looked
behind
over
Alan.
at Alan.
At
Who looked
Alan.
over at Alan? The driver of the Ferrari.
The
Looked
driver
over
of
at
Ferrari.
Alan. Did Alan look over at the driver? Yes, he did. Alan also looked over at the driver. Who was the driver? Tom Cruise! Tom Cruise
Tom Cruise.
was the driver. Alan looked over at the driver and realized that the driver was Tom Cruise. Who was the driver of the Ferrari? Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise was the driver of the Ferrari. Who was the motorcycle rider?
Motorcycle.
Alan. Alan was
Alan.
the motorcycle rider. And Tom Cruise
And Tom
was
Cruise.
the driver of the Ferrari. Who looked over at Alan?
Alan.
Tom Cruise.
Tom
Tom
Cruise.
Cruise looked over at Alan.
Tom Cruise look
What
over
was Tom
Alan.
Cruise wearing? Sunglasses. Tom
Sunglasses.
Cruise was wearing dark sunglasses. Was Alan wearing dark sunglasses? No, he wasn't. Alan wasn't wearing dark sunglasses. Tom
Wearing
Cruise
sunglasses.
was